Time for What Does This Button Do? With Jim and Chris. This is episode 54 of our weekly episodes of What Does This Button Do? It's an educational show about smartphones and tablets with us, the Geeks on Tour. Hi, everyone. I'm Jim, and together here with my wife, Chris, we're Geeks on Tour. Do you think your smartphone is smarter than you? Do you have questions about your Android phone or your iPad tablet? And how do you learn about these amazing devices?
We are geeks who teach, and we think the best way to learn is in bite-sized pieces on a regular basis. So that's why we came up with these shows, and we really love to learn, and it forces us to learn every week something. So on our website, geeksontour.com, we have prepared videos and for members on all the topics we teach.
So where are we now, Chris?
We are in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. This is home base. We have a townhouse here, which is where we're set up our studios, why it looks a little bit different. We're not in the RV right now. And we're here because next week, we're going to be blowing bubbles.
Oh boy, that's my favorite thing.
Besides computers, well, yeah, maybe it is the absolute favorite thing, but I couldn't do it all the time. Like, we're going to be on a liveaboard, so we will not have any internet access.
Right, so don't call us, we'll call you.
No show next week.
No show next week.
We will be underwater on a Blackbeard's boat.
And we're looking forward to that. That's how we know we're on vacation. Chris recommitted to diving on her 39th birthday
yeah.
last year, no, 2 years ago. And we have been diving several times since then. So we have a great show for you this week. A quick tip about sending notes to yourself. Our beginner's lesson is for everyone, Introduction to Evernote. Our app of the week will be Wink. That's something I've been playing with. That's home automation. And if you have questions, ask them here in the comments, either on the YouTube page or on the event page at Google+. The show will be recorded on YouTube and our Geeks on Tour channel. You can always find the links at geeksontour.com/weekly show. And we do invite you to become a member. We are member supported. We don't take advertising, and we don't do things like affiliate programs, although we can do an affiliate for Amazon. But go to geeksontour.com, sign up, and become a member.
So our quick tip of the day is using Google Now, just something, my favorite thing to do. And I think I've showed this before as part of the show, but really want to stress it. I've been using it a lot lately. You can just talk to your phone and say, note to self, and it can be sent to you in an email or to Evernote, which is why I decided to put it in this show, because it ties in with Evernote. Doesn't seem to work on Apple using the Google Now, but you can ask Siri to send an email to yourself. So let me show you how. Need to switch over to this guy.
Okay.
All right.
That should do it.
Positioned a little bit better. All right, so right on my home screen and on most Android home screen, you have this Google that is listening for the words, okay, Google, note to self. At Divers Direct, the salesman name is Wayne. All right, so it just emailed me that note as quick as can be. But if perchance I would rather have sent that note to Evernote, then I could try it again. Note to self. Sure, what's the note? And notice the little 3 dots over here. I can tell it I want to send that to Evernote instead. Remember at Divers Direct that the salesman's name is Wayne. All right. And it wasn't. Now, since I took the time to change that, it wasn't listening to me anymore. Remember that at Divers Direct, the salesman's name was Wayne.
Okay, saving.
All right. Now that has been saved at Evernote. So just note to self, I do that, and you'll see once we start doing the Evernote lesson, there's even more and better ways.
Okay.
Okay, but that's it for my quick tip.
Cool. All right.
As I say, you can try that on Apple using Siri. Siri can send an email to yourself. Ask her to send an email to yourself, and it does the same thing.
Okay. Well, that's really cool, but something's going on here. I don't have that screen. Why?
Okay, you don't have what screen?
I had 3 screens there. Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Let me get back to here and there, and somehow that got turned off.
Looks like it.
Okie doke. So
Okay. We
you
doing
have it now.
Okay, I got it now. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's all I wanted to put up there. And now I have it. Okay.
Oh, but I have several slides on Evernote. So,
Okay,
yeah,
so we'll
need
have
to
them
get
here.
that back.
All right, we got it.
Okay, so Evernote is our beginner's lesson for the day, and it deserves, this is not going to teach you everything there is to know about how to use Evernote, because
We don't know it all.
you could take a week's class. I would like to take a week's class on how to use Evernote. I have taken a several hours class, but you know something? It just updated, I think, this morning.
Minutes before we went live, Chris says, "Oh, there's a new one." A new one.
It just updated, so my widgets have changed, and we'll see how it goes. But this is an introduction. We know that a lot of people don't know about Evernote, so we want to correct that. This is an app that will help you remember everything.
Everything.
As
you ever
long as
need to
you
know.
use it. That to me is the number one thing. Whenever you hear yourself saying, how am I going to remember this? Like the example I just gave about the salesman's name at the store.
Yeah, are you going to write it down in a notebook?
And then what are you going to do with the notebook, with the
Right.
note? So and every time you think, now where am I going to put this so that I can find it again? The answer is Evernote. Now, Evernote is not the only app that does this. It's a note-taking app. And on the Apple, it comes with Apple Notes, which just got improved, greatly improved actually, this last update with the
Windows OS 9.
3.9, 3.9,
Apple Notes.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
Apple Notes just got updated. Microsoft OneNote is also very good.
And I've been using OneNote for many years.
Yeah, and Google Keep. We did a little bit on Google Keep in one of our early episodes, and it just came out on the Apple, I think. So there's a lot to be said for those, but Evernote is the king. Evernote is the accepted star of this category of note-taking apps.
And it works on all of the different devices. Right?
Everything.
Computers and tablets and phones.
Even Windows Phone.
Even Windows Phone.
Evernote works on, and you're looking at the same notes regardless of what app you're using. So I use Evernote because I know I won't outgrow it. I'm only using a tiny percentage of its capabilities, but I know if I ever decide to really use it, I won't have to switch to another app because it's the king.
So I still do keep some things on Microsoft's OneNote because I've been using it for so long, but I am transitioning over to Evernote because of all of the cool features that we can use over all the different apps.
Yeah. So Evernote can help you be organized. It has these features called notebooks. So you can organize all your information into notebooks. And even within the notebooks, you can tag. Those are like keywords. So I think you should have a limited number of notebooks. Those are just the vertical areas of your life, the categories of information that you need to keep track of, business or personal, ideas, tax returns, that kind of stuff. Tags, you can have several tags per note. So you can have hundreds of tags if you want. A tag for, well, you might have a notebook for food, for example, but then you'll have a tag for eggplant, chicken, steak, whatever ingredients, you might have multiple tags. Okay. But here's my favorite part. You don't have to be organized.
That's a great graphic.
You do. I am not. I'm a bit of a slob. I don't know, my office wouldn't look quite like that, but I am a bit of a slob.
I thought that was your office.
Even if you do not organize at all, if all you do is add notes to Evernote, you can search and you can find those individual notes. So even if you're not planning to learn about notebooks and tags, you can still start using Evernote. And once you get a few hundred notes in there, then maybe you'll start learning notebooks and tags.
Oh, cool.
So how do you get Evernote? You go to evernote.com, you sign up for a free account. And there is a premium account as well, but you don't need that. You don't need that until you have several 100 notes anyway. Read what it has. You might want it, but you can start with a free account just fine. And then you can get the app for Android, for Apple iOS, for Windows 10, for Windows 8, for Windows Phone apps. Plus, you can go to any browser and just go to evernote.com. So anything there you want.
That's just so cool.
It is. It does not matter what's in your hands. You're looking at your notes with whatever device. Now, one thing that I don't like so much, though, is that it's different on each of these devices. You'll see, I use it mostly on my Android phone. So when I pick it up on my Apple iPad, I'm a little lost. It's different. Now, what they say is they are making sure to take advantage of the best features of each device. They don't make it the same and not make it the best it can be. But it means there's a learning curve for each device.
Yeah, well, but most people don't have as many different devices as we do.
Yeah, right. You'll learn it on your main device, and it works
where
great.
You'll use it.
Okay. And then they all stay in sync. You're looking at the same notes, whether you're looking at evernote.com, Evernote software on your Apple Mac, Evernote software on your Windows, Evernote on your iPad, or on your Android device. You're looking at the same notes. Terminology.
Very important.
Yeah. So what I keep saying, note. Note is the smallest piece, the smallest item that is the building block of Evernote. It can be just a few words, like the salesman's name is Wayne, or it can be a container to hold all sorts of stuff, like attached files from somewhere else, pictures, drawings, audio, clipped web pages. I am forever taking pictures of receipts, for example.
That's one of my favorite uses of this Evernote.
And then that becomes a note where I can type words around it as well. It doesn't have to be just a picture. Then there is notebooks. That is a container for notes. Tags are the keywords. You can have multiple keywords associated with any one note. Stack is a grouping of notebooks. So if you want a family grouping and you want one notebook for Jim, one for Devin, one for Susan, one for, whoever is in your family. If you want a notebook for each of them, you might have a stack of those notebooks for family. When we say sync, we mean it's synchronizing info among devices. And account, we're talking about your username and password that identifies you and gets you to see your notes. Okay. I think I'm ready to do a demo. I'm going to search for notes. I'm going to enter a couple notes. I'm going to show you about taking a normal picture for notes, and I'm going to show you about taking a document picture, and then I'm going to show you a widget.
Okay.
And both on Apple and on my iPad and on my Android phone. Do we have any questions we should start with?
Yeah, let's take a look here. Marie says, wow, I love this. Just tried it and saved it to Evernote. Tried it. I talk to myself a lot, so this is very helpful.
Talk to yourself, yeah.
Okay. And let's see. Here's a question from Richard. How about Apple Siri to Evernote?
I could not figure out how to do that. Try it. If you talk to Siri and say, send a note to my Evernote. Well, you can certainly do it by using the Evernote email address, and I will show you that. So you can ask Siri to send an email to your Evernote address. There you go. That'd be one way to do it.
Jim is asking, I can't find preferences on the Evernote web. Any ideas?
Preferences. Probably under account. That's one thing I have. It took me a bit of doing just to find help on Evernote on the web site, but I found it by clicking on my little face, meaning going to account, and then there were settings. There were settings under the account. Try that.
Okay.
Okay. Ready?
Go ahead.
All right. I'm going to start with the iPad. Let me get it on. And so first you would get Evernote like you'd get anything. You'd go to the App Store and search for Evernote. Come on. There we go. Search for Evernote.
And it'll pop right up there.
And it's the green box with the elephant. But
something looks wrong here. Is the sharing gone away again?
Looks like it. Looks like they're not seeing that.
Let's see.
Here. Oh,
You do it.
yeah. I think I know where it is. I don't know why screen sharing keeps
That's a
stopping.
feature of Google Plus this week.
Okay, so there's sharing and seeing the right one now? Yep. Okay.
That's good.
And there and there.
Sorry
So
about
now
that.
you're looking at my iPad and the App Store, and there is Evernote. It is free. Just download it and set up an account, or tell it what your account is if you already have one. I already have it installed, and I put it right down here on my dock. And if you don't know how to do that, that was last week's lesson. So first thing, I'm just going to write a note. I was just talking to a friend of mine, and she said that the book club is reading a particular book, and I want to remember that. So as I'm walking away from her, I just say to myself, how am I going to remember that? I think we need some light over here. So I go to the menu. I just tapped on the little elephant and go to the menu, and I want to enter a text note. Notice I have the choice of a text note, a photo note, a reminder, a list, or a chat. I'm going to tap on text note. And opens up a place where I can type, and I will say book club for the title. A note can have a title. It doesn't have to. It comes up with something all of its own if you don't enter anything, but I kind of like putting a title. And tap to edit. And I'm waiting for the keyboard. And I will say, this month is the Rosie project. And I tap on save. So you don't have to do anything else. You just type a note and save it. So now I want to show you two different things. Number one, how to use the Evernote widget, and then how to take a picture for a note. So let's say, go to live for a minute. Let's say that you're at our house or you're at somebody's house and they use this cool apple core and you want to remember it, but you don't trust yourself to describe it. Take a picture of it
and send it to them.
Now, I know a lot of people do that, but what do? What do they use mostly?
Email.
And they take a camera. They get out their camera and they take a picture of it with the camera app. I'm saying, no, you can't type notes or share it or that kind of stuff with the camera app. So I'm going to take a picture with the Evernote app. Okay, back to this. And I'm going to use this example also to show you the widget on the iPad. On iPad widgets, you drag down from the top, and I have the Evernote widget. And if you don't know how to install that, that was episode 31. We taught about that. So right here, this is kind of shortcuts to making a text note, a photo note, a reminder, etc. So I'll just tap on photo, and it opens up Evernote and takes me to the camera in Evernote. So now, yeah, I don't know, this is going to be difficult to...
Well, I have it on you, so...
Oh, okay. Okay, so you can just put it over there even. I can take a picture of that device, and now I have a note in Evernote with a picture of this.
Okay.
And I can type some words around it, but I'm not going to bother. So after you put in a bunch of notes, what's the purpose? The purpose is being able to search. So I have nearly 1,000 notes in here. I use it a fair amount, and I'm trying to use it more and more and more. So let's see how it works with search. On the Apple iPad, the search is just a little magnifying glass up in the top, and I can type something. So for example, let's say I wonder, when are we going to have to buy new tires for the RV again? When was the last time we bought new tires? Well, hopefully I saved the receipt as a note, and I can search for tires. And I just tap search. There's tires for the Honda and receipt for 6 RV tires. Now that is very handy. I can see, I have to zoom in a bit. Looks like it was November.
Location.
Yeah,
date.
and how much, and receipt that it was paid. It looks like April 17, 2013. Wow, it's been that long.
Wow.
Okay. How about another one? And I want to look for, I know I have some, all I remember about her is her name is Jane. That's all I remember. So let's see if I have Jane's information in here. I tap the search. I type Jane.
How about if she spells it Jayne?
Yeah, well, then I might have a problem.
JA, it'll still show up.
And there it was. Yes, she was with FMCA.
Oh, yeah.
But notice how it has found the word Jane.
Right on the business card.
On the photo that I took of the business card, I did not have to type in her name.
That's pretty amazing.
It really is. So it will find, and I have even taken some pictures of handwritten notes, and it has been able to find a note based on a handwritten word in that photo.
I bet you it wouldn't work with my handwriting.
Yeah, it obviously doesn't work with all of your handwritten notes, but if you're really neat and clean, you can do that. All right, so how do we take a picture? So this is cool. This one was really just a photograph, and it can find the word Jane inside the photograph. But watch this. It's even better.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer. Watch this. All right. So this time I'm going to add another note. I'm going to say I'm done searching, and I want to add a photo note.
It went away again.
Lost it again?
Yeah.
That is weird.
That is weird because it was right there.
Well, I'm glad you're watching, and we can reshare so that you can see the screen. What if I just share that one?
Let's try that.
That might work a little bit better. Okay.
All right.
So I am going to I'm going to make a new note that is a photo note. So I tap on right there where it says photos. But then instead of just taking a photo like I did of the apple corer, I'm going to use this option that it took me a while to find, but up in the upper right-hand corner, you have a button that switches back and forth between just taking a picture, and it's supposed to look like a little mountain scene, or taking a picture of a document. And you get this note down at the bottom, place documents on a contrasting background. So I'm going to take this business card, and I will get it on the screen here. Let's see if we can get that to be shown.
Yeah.
You can see it.
Sort of.
And then you don't have to do anything because I chose document. See the green? The Evernote is figuring out where the business card is. And as soon as it's decided it has it figured out, it takes the picture. Wow. You don't even have to click a button on the apple. And that's one thing that's a little bit different on the. And then look what it's done. Not only has it snapped a picture of the card, but it has put in the name, the title, the phone number into a contact information note. That's awesome. Now, I think maybe that's in the premium version.
That was a question too.
Because I do have the premium, and it's confusing. I've read it over. That Jane's card, that was absolutely not a premium version. That did, and I think you can do this in the not premium version too. What you need the premium version to do is actually save that to your phone's contacts.
Okay.
I think, but
yeah, we'll
if people need to know that, you'd have to study up or get the free version, see if it does this. If it doesn't,
works for you,
if it
then
doesn't,
you might have to. It's not that expensive either.
I mean, I still haven't paid anything for it. I got it as some kind of a promotion. I think maybe when we bought the Chromebook or
something like that,
or when I bought this fancy notebook that goes along with it, I got 3 months of anyway. I do have the premium version, but yeah. I haven't paid anything.
And I do not.
Okay, that's it for the iPad. Now I want to switch over to the Android phone. Okay, cool. This one's showing up a little bit better. And it is showing up there
Yep,
too. All
we're
right,
good.
great. So one thing to know is, how do you get more help? Oh, I'm late, aren't I? So now we're just going to look at the notes, and notice there's the note to self that I used Google Now to send. And there is the book club note that I made using the iPad. There, and we don't have the business card yet, but it will be there. And if I want to push it, I can tap on the three-dot menu and tap sync. That forces it to go look and see if any new contact has been added anyplace else.
I wonder if this boat that we're going to be on next week has that.
Has what?
Sync? I'm sorry.
All right. Now, yeah, we should be seeing the Apple Core too. Maybe when I turned off this, I need to tap sync over here too.
Okay.
All right. Just checking.
It may be a majorly
Oh, I didn't
different.
tap save. I didn't tap save
Oh.
on the iPad. I didn't complete the process.
Okay.
All right, there we go.
Major differences between Apple and Android, but not so much between Android and Windows. So
Okay.
comment there.
Well, I haven't used the Windows much, although it looks the Windows app, not the browser, but the Windows app has regular old software menus, and it's very comfortable, very familiar. All right, so we got the book club one, but we're not getting. All right, sync means go get. There we go. Okay, so here is, using my Android, the business card that we just scanned using the Apple, plus the detailed information all sorted out. Awesome.
Cool. Here's a question. I have several notes. How do I combine them and put them in a notebook?
Yeah, so the way you put a note into a notebook is very easy. It gets a default notebook, and I have mine set to, by default, put notes into something called the inbox, so that I can then go to the inbox and I can sort them out. But if I know that this one should not be in inbox, it should be in business cards, you just tap where it says inbox. I now see all of my notebooks, and I thought I had one called business cards. I guess not. It must just be, yeah, I don't have one called business cards.
Because it's all business.
I do have
I see
business ideas and receipts.
Well,
That's what I do a lot.
Can you create a new one right here?
Yes, you just tap on the little plus at the top, the notebook plus. And I think I must use it in tags. I don't have a notebook for business cards because I use a tag. But anyway, I just made a new notebook called business cards, and I put it in there. So that's how you change the notebook that a card is in. And how you see your notebooks is you go to menu, and there's notebooks. And this tells me that business cards has one note in it. Learning, this is one I use a lot. Whenever I see a web page that has information that I want to read later, I put it into Evernote in a learning notebook. So I can now just browse my learning notebook, and I see web pages, I see little notes of mine and other things.
That's cool.
Okay. So I need to show you the difference between taking a photo and taking a document. We did it with the business card, but now I want to show you with a receipt. So first of all, you need, so I'm looking with a long receipt here. And you always tell of a really good reason for taking pictures of receipts.
Right. My main reason for doing this with receipts is because these receipts are made on thermal paper and they fade over time. If you take the picture when the receipt is new, you'll get all of that information. And using the document feature is the way to do it.
Yeah. So I tap on the plus, and on the Android, there is actually an option called Document Camera. So I tap on that rather than that little button at the top that the iPad had. And tilt the phone, it's telling me, tilt the phone slightly to avoid glare. All right, does it ever stop telling me that? All right, tilt the phone slightly to avoid glare. And on this, I have to tap the button to tell it to take a picture.
There.
Okay.
I heard it take a picture.
So it took it. And what is amazing is if you use the document camera and you have it properly on a contrasting color background, and you make sure that some of the background shows up, then you get to see a beautiful black and white version of the receipt rather than a photograph looking thing. And
that looks pretty washed out on the screen.
Yeah, the screen isn't.
It looks good. Yeah. I have to work on that.
Yeah. Well, I'll show it to you on the computer when I finish here. And there's one more. So a picture of a receipt. Now, on the Android, we have some new widgets, one of which gives you a really quick way to talk to yourself and add a to-do note. So I'm going to go into my widgets and show you this Evernote widget.
And this is one of the ones that's brand new from this morning?
I think it just came out this last week or so anyway. And there is the Evernote Actions is the name of this widget. Touch and hold, drop it off on my home screen. And then it says, okay, what action do you want this widget to take? I want it to give me, I want to be able to talk to it and have it write text. So that's on the more, speech to text. And then it says, okay, what notebook do you want to save this in? I want to save it in my to-do. I'm pretty sure I have one called to-do. Yeah, to-do. And I'm done. So now what happens is I can just tap on that widget and talk. Remember to get beer before this afternoon's game. And then you just tap the check mark and you're done. And it is in your to-do notebook. I'm going to use that a lot.
I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do one for documents too.
For documents, yeah. You can anything that you learn how to do in Evernote, you can make a little action widget if you do it a lot. And the last thing I want to show you is what if somebody sent you something in an email and you want that in an Evernote note?
Okay.
You can copy and paste. But an easier way.
Maybe you can. I bet you some of these people out there don't know how to copy and paste.
Yeah, we had
a show on that.
We did, yep. So I'm going into my email, and this works just the same on all devices. The key is you need to find the email address for your Evernote account, and you need to go into your Evernote account and search for that information. And I have an email here from Jean Watson telling me about a cool website. And I think, gee, that's nice. Where should I put that I am going to remember it?
Evernote.
Evernote is the answer to that question. So I'm going to forward it. What's that? I think that's under the 3 dots. and forward. And I have my Evernote account email address in my contact list. So I just choose that and send.
Now, can you do that to other people's Evernote email addresses?
As long as you have that email address, I don't see why not, but I've never actually tried that.
I guess you would probably have to have permissions to do that.
Yeah, I'm not.
We'll check into that.
Yeah, but I assume you can. If I knew your Evernote email address and it was in my book, I should be able to send that to you. Okay, there's lots more, but that's where I'm going to stop.
Okay. There's a question. How do you bring up widgets in Android? Leave that open there.
Okay, well, we did cover that in episode 31, but let me show you. It's different on different Androids.
Right.
On mine, I have the Google launcher. And we talked about this last week. So therefore, to get widgets, I have to touch and hold on a main screen, and I see the widget option down at the bottom. With a standard Samsung launcher, you go to your Play Store and you should see both apps and widgets.
Right.
So one of those two methods should work.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions?
Yeah.
And now I have to go back to share and do that one. Or I want that one.
Keep trying. What does this button do?
Oh, I know. I still did have to show you the one thing on the computer. Okay, so if I go to Evernote here, can you see it?
Yeah. I think so.
Okay, so here comes Evernote on the computer. I have to sign in. This is on a browser. This isn't the actual Windows app.
Okay, so you're using the Chrome browser here, right?
I'm using the Chrome browser.
That looks like the same password I have.
You can set up two-step authentication if you put some secure stuff in here. I recommend you do that.
And again, this is our seminar computer. This is not her regular computer.
But these are still all of my notes because why?
It's under an account.
It's in my account. Yeah, I just signed it. So here is that email I just forwarded to my Evernote account. And I knew that I might run out of time, so I created this photos as notes. So here is a document that I just took a picture of using camera, just using regular camera. And look at that. It's all cut off. It looks dark in some places and bright in others. Then I took that same document and I used the document camera option instead. Notice this is nice, clean, white and black. Some of it is still cut off though, and that's because I did not get far enough away. I didn't make sure that I was getting some of the dark background. So on this bottom one, I took a picture and made sure to get some of the background in it. Notice it didn't take a picture of any of the background, but because it knew where the document edges were, it got the entire document. I think that is just awesome.
Yeah, it gets rid of all the little shadows and the wrinkles, or most of them, and the folds in the paper, and it just gives you the document as if it were, much better scan, if you will.
Yes. Yeah, it's like a scanner. We do not have a scanner. We don't have a scanner. We don't have a fax machine. We take a picture of it using the Evernote document camera and then just share it via email to whoever needs to have it.
Right. Let's see. I subscribe to a newsletter using my Evernote email. The newsletter goes directly into Evernote.
That is an excellent answers the question, can other people use your Evernote email address?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love it.
Cool.
I love it. Then it just avoids your inbox, your email altogether.
Mm-hmm. And here's another one. Handwriting is also very good. Plus Evernote with Note 2, Samsung and Android. Yes, I have that stylus on my phone, my Galaxy Note 3, but we also have another note-taking tablet. And if you use that, it works a lot better with those. So, okay. All right. Where are we? Try that.
Yep. Is it showing?
Okay. Yep. Questions, we get that. All right. Geeks on Tour. We know what that is. Like us on Facebook. Go to our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/geeksontour and like us there. And you'll get some notifications of the stuff that we do. We really appreciate if you do that. So, app of the week, Wink. Build your connected home. This is something new that I'm getting into because we talked about the Echo last week and the week before last, right? When we had Martin Brosman on. Yeah.
I don't remember.
Well, we did. And so that's part of home automation. But as part of that, I can ask the Echo to turn lights on and off in the house. So I can say, Alexa, turn on the dining room light.
Okay.
Alexa, turn on the bedroom light.
Okay.
And notice the light behind Chris just came on. You can also have an app that goes along with it too. And you can download it on the Android, the iOS, or the Windows phone, and you can have it running on your computer on a browser. And basically what you do is you just set up the app.
Well, now you had to buy the bulbs and the switches,
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah.
And the Wink hub.
Well, details.
There is hardware.
It's only money. and yeah, there is hardware involved, and you can buy switches, you can buy locks, you can buy the security sensors for the home and all sorts of things. So it's just really amazing. All it takes is money.
But it wasn't that much.
No,
well, not for two lights.
No, the bulbs are about $15 to $20 a piece. The switches are about $30. And then you have, if you have the Echo, that's $179. But you can control all of this stuff with an app on your phone or your tablet from anywhere in the world. You can also get notifications that somebody's come into the house. You can see who's used the automated lock. But so far, all I have is lights.
Two lights.
But
it's wonderful,
right?
Because a couple of those switches, anyway, are difficult for me to reach.
Right.
So I can just tell Alexa, or if I wanted to put it on my phone. This is the Wink
app. I use the Wink hub. There are other systems out there, but if you just touch on one of those, that's the dining. Yes, touch that one, and the light behind you should go off. There it goes. Okay. And touch it again. And the light is on.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so far, it's coming. So far, you cannot use the dimmer. But if you just slide your finger across the light there, just slide your finger across to where it goes. Watch there. Leave it. It dims the light.
You just said that you can't use the dimmer. You mean with Alexa, you can't use the dimmer.
Right.
But with the app, you can.
Correct. I'm sorry. I misspoke. So we're going to be getting some more of these devices. I'm going to get some more of these devices. So I'll get a switch, a couple of dimmers, and maybe some outlets. There are all kinds of things that you can add on to this. But having the app on your phone or your tablet is the way that you want to make that stuff work. and it is just too cool.
And there are other makes, right? Why did you pick Wink?
I picked Wink because it seems to have the most universal settings. It uses several of the other companies. So the lights are from General Electric. There are also other makers. Philips makes one, and the Wink Hub can talk to the Philips lights and devices. Schlage is the lock company, and they make locks. And you can have touch pads on your lock. They're expensive. They're like almost $200, but you can control it. And it also has an alarm, and it has features that let different people have different combinations to get into the house. Oh, and it has a key if you really want a key. Okay. Wow. Did you learn something? I know I did. Review questions. Evernote is an application in the same category as Word, Apple Notes, Gmail, or Dropbox.
The answer is Apple Notes. There are several note-taking apps out there. You know, some of the stuff you can do with Dropbox too, but Dropbox is about files. Evernote is about notes in a system.
Great. And which should you have more of, notebooks or tags?
Tags. Notebooks are the big containers for the major categories of your notes. Tags are for all the minutia that you want to be able to organize by.
Okay, great. True or false? If you want to search by a word, that word must be in the note's title.
False. It can be anywhere in the note. It can even be inside a photo.
Wow.
Now that is one thing of the premium. You need the premium version if you want to search words within a PDF.
Right. I think you're right. And a picture can be a note. Start by opening what? Do you open the camera, Evernote, Google Now, or Siri?
The point is you open Evernote and use the camera inside of Evernote. Then that picture becomes part of a note.
Because Evernote uses the camera in the app itself. The camera on your phone or your tablet is just another app, and you're just using the lens using Evernote, right?
Yep.
So you can save an email as an Evernote note by doing what?
By forwarding it to your Evernote email address, and you can find that address by looking through the help in Evernote.
Okay. Evernote widgets are shortcuts. Learn how to install widgets by watching What Does This Button Do? Episode number
31.
31. And I knew that. Because I just started, I went through and I did that not too long ago.
Yeah, we go through, we use our own stuff to go back and learn.
All too often because we can't remember what we did last week. Okay, what's the webpage? It lists all of our weekly shows.
That is geeksontour.com and weekly show. And that's where you scroll down, you will find episode 31 and be able to click on the link.
That's great. And the webpage that lists all of our recent newsletters?
geeksontour.com, and the menu item is blogs and articles. Newsletters is under there.
And your benefits for joining Geeks On.
Get access to tutorial videos for members on our website. You can ask any question on our members Q&A, and you get the detailed show notes and links for these shows.
And I use that almost all the time to figure out what we were doing. Okay. So we do invite you to become a member, geeksontour.com. Click join now. Next week, we're on vacation.
We're going to be blowing bubbles.
Blowing bubbles.
We'll come back with some underwater video.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so stay tuned for that. On October 11th, episode 55, when and how to use Wi-Fi versus cellular.
Unless we think of something else between now and then.
We can do that. And we'll take your questions. Leave those in the comments. Watch for the notification for next week's show. And please click that you're coming. Anything else? Wow, you got to keep laughing. So, Captain Picard uses Android.
The original.
That's too funny. All right, Geeks on Tour, technology training. What does this button do?
We won't see you next week, but we'll see you the week after that.
See you in 2 weeks.